Hello, welcome. This is blockchainbloom, the blockchain educator. I'm Atala, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about that actually we have closed now April and what could happen in May. I think let's look at the present situation and the possibilities. Also, we should talk about the new negative GDP in the United States, which just came out. Let's talk about the possibilities for the FOMC meeting, which is going to happen pretty soon on the 7th of May. The new PCA data is also out, and let's discuss the fact that more than 52% of crypto projects has died since 2021, and this year we broke another record in failure as well. So guys, all this in today's video, and don't forget, every single day I bringing you the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom to keep you up to date. So if that's important, very simple, just subscribe to this YouTube channel and also hit the like button if you like this kind of content. And now let's do it. Well, and when we're looking at Bitcoin, we can see that it went up 0.5% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum more than 1% up in the last 24 hours. So let's look at the winners. Well, Virtual Protocol up 22%, Curve up 11%, and Fartcoin 9%. These are the top three. Losers, Optimism down 3%. We have Toncoin down 2%, and XTC almost 2%. So no major losers. Bitcoin holding itself pretty well in the market right now. It's not looking too bad. When we're looking at the Bitcoin candlestick chart, this is what we can see here. So really, we started to go here sideways. We still above 92,000 US dollar, which is also important for why we're above the 200-day moving average. So that looks so far so good. And yeah, yesterday I talked about the VPVR, and it would be very, very important that we go above this level. So here is the major volume around 96,000-ish, and above it, if we can make it and break above it and stay above it, then actually I think we can also continue. But so far so good. Even then we had, yesterday a bad GDP data coming out. Bitcoin went down a tiny little bit, but still coming back and holding itself pretty well. Okay, but let's check out how Bitcoin closed April. So we can go back here to the monthly for that, and it shows that we had a nice price increase, here in Bitcoin price, and this month actually continued. We had 2 months down and now one up. Let's put it here, this one, the Bitcoin monthly returns, and you can clearly see that in February we were down 17%, March a bit more than 2%, but in April we closed plus 14%. So this is looking actually so far good. When we're looking at ETH, and this is totally opposite. Look, when I go here, it shows very clearly. Ethereum. Look at this one. Ethereum actually is down for the 5th month in the row. And we haven't seen this since 2018. And we do know in 2018, we had a very, very bearish period. It was actually, bear market. And that was the last time we have seen Ethereum performing like this. So not everybody is doing pretty well. Even when we're looking at, rivals, just like Solana, for example, very similar to Bitcoin. And Ethereum, yeah, it's not that great, to be honest with you. So this is what happened so far. And actually, when we're looking at the crypto calendar for this month, for May, we will have a lot of things. We're going to have, an FOMC meeting pretty soon coming up. That's an important one here on the 7th of May. And of course, we're going to have the usual things, CPI, PPI, and so on and so forth. And now the other big question is that when the US is going to make a final deal about the tariffs with China. So that would be pretty important. But yeah, Actually, now the market is not in that bad situation. When we're looking at, for example, Bitcoin, the stock market hasn't come back that much than Bitcoin did, but also things looking not that bad. We had the worst probably behind us now, but it's very, very important to highlight that anytime something can, pop up, some black swan event, which we cannot predict. For example, now there's the worry about the recession, and let's talk about that as well. So one important data which came out yesterday, it was the GDP data for the first quarter, right? In the United States for January, February, March, when we're looking at the yearly, and this is down 0.3%. Actually, the forecast predicted 0.3% plus and not minus. And when you're looking at this, you can see here that we haven't seen this for 3 years actually. And when we go all the way back to Q4 2023, these were all positive. Here we have a negative one. And what's very, very important, that the main reason why actually it's 0.3 down, it's posted imports. And we do know that Donald Trump's tariffs have a huge impact on this. So this is why we see the first quarter like this. And now, of course, the worry is coming up that, okay, now what will happen? Will there be a recession? The chance of recession in this year that's going to happen, it has increased when we're looking at a couple of data. So yeah, still there are questions. And on the other hand, US job openings dropped 288,000 in March to 7.2 million, and this is the second lowest since January 2021. So even this shows that the US labor market is weakening. The chances actually for the rate cut, which going to be next week, at least the FOMC meeting, but the chances are pretty slim. 3% is saying there's going to be a rate cut, but the majority, 97%, is saying there will be no rate cut. When we're looking at June, the majority is saying that yes, there will be, but right now the chance is very, slim. And that will be also very, very important to see the Fed kind of pivot and going in another direction, decreasing interest rates. But so far, it's not really happening. When we're looking at the PC data, which just came out also yesterday on the 30th of April, the forecast said 2.2, it became 2.3. But actually, when you're looking at this, it's down compared to February. And when we're looking at the core PC, that actually the forecast was 2.6, 2.6 as well, and it's down from the previous one. Yeah, this is when we're looking at the data, a couple of data which are important, and there was a speech here by the head of NVidia in the White House. And, he was talking about, how they're going to build in the United States. And this is one point what he highlighted, and I think that's a very important one. Let's listen to the video. So I'm going to play you the video. Here we go.
And we're going to build NVIDIA's technology, the next generation of that, all here in the United States. Without the president's leadership, his policies, his support, and very importantly, his strong encouragement. And I mean his strong encouragement. Frankly, manufacturing in the United States wouldn't have accelerated to this pace. Manufacturing isn't about low-cost labor anymore. Manufacturing is about technology. And most of the factories that build these systems today are the most advanced factories in the future. And we're going to use artificial intelligence and robotics and omniverse digital twin technology to make it possible for us to create the factories of the future. And we ought to build it.
I think, one thing is just put aside, yes, they're coming here, coming back to the United States, thanks to Donald Trump and so on and so forth. But what he was emphasizing here, and I think this is very important, that many people saying that, okay, but how are they going to pay the U.S. workers to work in factories and pay that low salary, what they can do, for example, in China or Vietnam or some in other countries. And what he's saying is basically that, the future when it comes to manufacturing, it's not labor, it's technology, and AI going to help a lot in this. So I think this will has a huge change. And if they're building new factories in the United States with actually more AI or more robotic things, it won't be necessary to pay cheap salaries, what is happening right now in China. And this can actually change a lot of things. But how it will play out, we're going to see it. Right. Okay, and finally, let's talk about the fact that more than 52% of crypto projects has died since 2021. Well, this is very important to understand, especially if you are in altcoins, because you have to understand that the majority of the crypto projects going to die. There are more than 14 million, tokens out related to projects, and the majority is really not going to make it, right? And this is a clear example how they failed. More than 52% failed since 2021, and look at 2025 already. We're breaking new records. 1.8 million, more than 1.8 million projects failed just in this year, 2025. So the only project, if you're looking at like this, Bitcoin is the one which is keep coming back since its launch 2009 and reaching new highs. Since that we have seen, some projects appear doing pretty well in some bull markets, some trends, but then they're coming down. Even now, when we're looking at Ethereum, Ethereum was doing very well since it came out. But then, the recent performance, for example, the last 5 months, we just cannot really compare to Bitcoin and even many rivals. Then we had XRP. XRP was doing very well back then. Then, their performance is also not that great. So things keep changing, and something which used to be a trend is maybe not a trend anymore in the next bull market. The only exception is Bitcoin is the one which is always keep coming back. So I think I also do it. Great to use the potential in some altcoins, but please be aware of it, what your expectations are, and make sure you take profits and all these kind of things. Otherwise, it's very, very likely that in many cases, you're just going to lose your money, what you have invested in them. Guys, that's it for today. Don't forget, every single day, I'm bringing you the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom to keep you up to date. So if that's important, very simple, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also hit the like button if you like this kind of content, and see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.